Alright, in this tutorial, this omarvision tutorial, I'm going to go over just how to make a simple little guy like this. And then we'll put, 3 animations on him. This is an idle, and then we have a walk animation, and then we have a jump animation. Okay, so we'll learn how to make a model, and we'll learn how to put some bones and create multiple animations on the same thing. So let's start from the beginning. And the beginning is, of course, a brand new project. Okay, and when you start a brand new scene in Blender, you got these 3 things. I'm going to be taking my mesh that I make here, and I'm going to use it in another tutorial that I'm going to do for Unity. I don't need the camera, so I'm just going to get rid of that and the light too. I just need this cube. So right now, if I want to move around, I hold the mouse wheel down, and I could rotate around the object. And I could scroll the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. This is object mode over here. In object mode, I could select an object I want to work with. So I'm going to left click on this, and then it highlights in orange. And then I'm going to go into edit mode to edit the object I selected. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half. So that's a tool here on the side called loop cut. I'll press that, and then I kind of put my cursor on one of the edges. If I put it on one of these edges, then it loop cuts in this direction. If I put it on one of these edges, then it shows me it'll loop cut along this axis. So I'm going to loop cut it in half right there. So I click once, and then it puts a loop cut there. Over here, there's a little drop down or a little pop-up that, while I haven't done anything else but that loop cut, I could change the number of cuts. It always just keeps cutting in half. But I just want one loop cut. Now I'm going to go to the select box, and right here I'm selecting vertices still, and I want to select all the vertices on one side. I want to select all the vertices on one side. So what I'll do is I'll turn on this x-ray thing, and it lets me pick all the vertices on one side like that. Now the reason I picked this x-ray thing, if I didn't pick the x-ray and I kind of went like this, it's only going to select the vertices that I could see, what the camera could see visually right here, and it leaves out that little corner. So with the x-ray on, I could actually go through like this, and it'll select everything the camera can see. Now I'll press X to delete, or I could right click here and choose to delete vertices, and I'll have half of the cube now. So since I'm going to make that person, that little model of a man, that simple little person model, I'm going to work with half of the body, and then I'll use the mirror modifier over here. So once again, I still have the cube selected. I'm going to click the modifier and go to add a mirror modifier, which makes a copy on the other side, an exact copy, okay? And I could use this. Now whatever I do to one side over here, if I select the vertice and then I move it, you're going to see that it happens on both sides. Okay, now Control Z to undo that. Let me turn on my screencast keys so that you guys could see what's going on. So I'm just going to click this. You can see the keys. I'll press N to push that window back in. See, now here you see the key I just pressed, or the control I just used. All right, so I have half a cube mirrored. Now I can just work on things on one side and it'll happen to both sides. So let's start trying to make this very simple person that I made. Right now it's on vertex select, which is I can select the little points. I can put it on edge select, which selects the edges, okay? And I'm going to use face select, which selects the faces. You just have to click on the little dot of a face, and it selects that face. I'm going to select the top face, and then I'm going to extrude it up, okay? And this is going to kind of be like where the arms are going to come out from. Then I'm going to press again and just extrude again. Every time I let go of the mouse, it's going to create another extrude. And now on this surface I extruded, I want to scale it in. So this is the scale tool, and I can scale it in that axis. But see what happens over here, how the middle is getting cut out. Let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see that. When I zoomed the scale of this on the X, the middle gets separated. What I'm going to do is I'll press this clipping button on my mirror modifier over here. Okay, this is the mirror modifier. If I press clipping, before I do that scaling thing, and so I have clipping selected, and now I try to do the scaling. It'll keep the center connected. So I want it to do that there, and this is the next. I'll probably zoom it in a little bit there, like that. This isn't the perfect person. This is just a quick model. Okay, then I'll extrude out again, and this could be like the neck, and then extrude out again. This could, well, let me press escape on that. Before I extrude out again, let me just scale. This little line is going to be the neck. Then I just want the head. I want the head to be bigger. So I will scale on, I could either pick the boxes, the little squares at the end, or there's these boxes here to scale on that axis altogether. So I'm scaling on that axis, that surface, and it's kind of not what I wanted. Somehow I think I got another extrude in there by accident. So I just Control Z back to here. Now I'm going to extrude that neck, and now another one for the head. The head's going to get really wide. Another thing I could do, other than pressing the keys over here, is I can have a shortcut key. You see how extrude is an E in the little pop-up window, and scale is an S. Just letting you know the shortcut keys. Now I can pick this and yep, and scale it on that, and I really want the head to be fatter like this. This is like a very basic person shape here. This isn't the perfect. Then extrude again, and extrude one more time. And then over here we'll scale this in, trying to make like a little bit of a circular head shape. Right? So there you go. Now I said the arms are going to come out of here. So it's kind of like a fat body, huh? We'll fix all that after. Let me, still on face, I'm going to pick the arm to start extruding out from here. That could be like the shoulder. And as you can see, I still have the scale tool. Let me bring that in. Down. And then maybe move it. So I click to the move tool, and now I have arrows, you see. And let's see. Maybe move this like that before I start extruding out the arm more. So go back to extrude and pull out more. This is like the bicep, the upper arm. And then I'm going to click it again for the forearm. And we're just making a basic model, so I'm not even going to put hands on them. Let me go down here, and I'll do the legs. Now, remember up here with the head, how the mesh separated? With the legs, I do want a separation between the two legs. So let me turn off the clipping, and then pull out a leg. This is the upper leg. And now comes the part where I turn the clipping off for. If I pick the scale tool and I scale on this, I do want the legs to separate like you see right here. And let's come in to like make the knee. So the knee, again, I'll just extrude it. A little knee joint. And let's scale it in with the scale on the blue key. And then we'll extrude it finally for the leg, the bottom of the leg. And scale it. And then we're going to have the foot. So I'll extrude it again here. Drag out something for the foot. And then in the front, let me pick the front face. So I'm zooming in and out with the mouse wheel. Now I want to move the model. I want to move up so I can see the foot come out to the center. I'm going to hold down the shift key and the mouse wheel. And now I could pull up the whole model so I can see this part. So what I want to do is select this face and extrude. And something is wrong. On Control Z. I picked the wrong face. It's this face and extrude. If you make a mistake, just remember to press Control Z. Now the feet are a little skinny. Let me just select these faces on the side and pull them out just to make the feet a little less skinny. Alright? Now that I have a basic outline of my person, I could just fine tune some stuff here. Like right here, I think I'll make the hand narrow down a little bit more when it comes to the edge there. Okay? And the head, it's a black head. Maybe in the back, I could give an arch to the back a little bit more. So let's go to edge mode, and I'll show you picking edges. What that does is it just picks a line, and let me use the move tool. I'm just going to move some of these around. Okay, that's the back. Let's have the shoulder come out a little bit more. And here in the front, let me make the neck in the front, just so I can tell some differences between the front and the back of my character. And we can give him a little bit of a butt over here. Let's just do another loop cut. Loop cut just adds more definition to the mesh. There's more things I can move. So see how I just added that? Now I go back to select. I'm still in edge select, and I just will take this here and move it around. Let me just move it around on this whole axis here, like this, and give this guy a little bit of a butt, and maybe give him a little bit of a gut. So let's take this one here, and just roll out a little bit of a gut. Now this is just like me playing around, being a little artistic with the shape of him. Alright, this isn't the end all. So after I say I got these things the way I want them, let me go back to the object mode. I see my whole object. Let me turn off the x-ray so you kind of can see how he looks solid. And he's really blocky. So a quick way to make him unblocky is to add another modifier. So I'm going to add another modifier called Subdivision Surface right here. And you can see already like it's smoothing out the model more with the Subdivision Surface modifier. This is the mirror, and right here is the Subdivision Surface. So Subdivision Surface, if I leave it as a Catmull Clark, then it's going to smooth out the mesh and kind of round it out more. If I leave it as simple, the mesh stays in the same place, but it's adding more vertices here. So you can see as I up the density of the subdivision, it adds more vertices. I'm going to do the Catmull Clark because I do want it to smooth out. And let's see it. Let's see how it looks like this, where I could still see some faces. Now, just because I could see faces here, it doesn't mean that I will have to see faces in the model, in the game, because the object right now is doing flat shading. If I turn the shading to smooth shading, you can see how it smooths out the thing, even though it didn't add more vertices. So let's go back to the object mode. Let me go back to the object mode. And So with smooth shading, viewport at 2, that's how it looks. Viewport at 1, you can see with smooth shading, the model looks smooth and still has less vertices. But of course, I could increase up until I can't even tell the difference. The only problem is if you add more detail to your mesh, you see right here on this bottom line, the higher those numbers are, the harder your game engine has to work to actually display this model. I'm not worrying about, my game engine right now, so I'm just going to up that to like 3. So this is step 1. I made the model. Now I'm in object mode. I could decide to apply these modifiers to my mesh. I could decide to apply the mirror modifier and then apply the subdivision modifier. Now this is my mesh. I can't change it. I applied the modifiers. The mesh is like this, and I just noticed something. You see in the middle here, there's like faces that are separated. That must have been when I was doing the mirror, that those are extra faces that they don't have to get rendered. I wonder how I could fix that, especially after I modified everything. Well, I could probably press Control Z to undo the applies. That's one thing. And I could probably take off the subdivision. So we have the basic. And I think there may be a tool here with my whole object selected for cleaning up the mesh. But I'll just have to go back to edit mode and look under here for mesh cleanup. And let's see here. Delete loose. Merge by distance. Did that do it? No, nothing happened. Clean up. Delete loose. There's no loose. Nothing happened. Mesh. Clean up. Dissolve 0 area faces and lengths. Make planner. Flatten selected faces. Merge by distance? No. I'm trying to figure out if there's a thing that could get rid of those faces that are like really not visible. Alright, if I can't do it that way, then let me go to face mode. And you can see, maybe I'll just have to select the faces. Shift, mouse wheel, and pull it down. So this face I want to delete. I'll press X, and I will, where's delete? I want to delete the face. And here, X, delete the face. Here, oh, not selecting it, gotta click the right thing. X, delete the face. And there's 3 more. This one, hold down Shift to multiple select and delete those faces. So yeah, now down the middle, you see on the mirror it's just empty, and only here where the legs are do I have faces all around. Okay, that's better. That's more what I need. Alright. So go back to object mode. Let me put the subdivision surface back on it. And let me view it in shape flat. Okay. So now I'm going to add a modifier subdivision surface. 1, 2, 3. 3 looks nice and smooth. I'll apply that. And now some areas when I did this, they may need all those meshes, and some maybe they don't need so many meshes to express the same shape. So now that I use subdivision surface to kind of give this thing this smoother shape, I could try to be efficient and use Decimate Modifier. And I'll show you how this works. I added the Decimate Modifier to the selected object there. And now with the ratio thing, as I turn it down, you can see that it's lowering the amount of faces and vertices, etc. and still trying to hold the same shape. The question is, where is it enough? So let me just turn it to the visual. This is what it's going to look like on the outside. This is 100%. All right, there's 7,400 faces. But as I lower it down, as long as my object's not distorted that much, remember I'm going to have the smooth modifier on, can I reduce? Now that's like super reduced, and you can see we totally lost the shape. And there's 3 different algorithms here. There's collapse, there's unsubdivide, and there's planner. So I think, see, planner's keeping more of like a symmetric thing on both sides, and there's an angle limit that says when the angle is passed that it will do the thing. But I'm going to keep with the collapsed because my game needs triangles, and it looks like with the collapsed it actually is keeping triangles. But there's only one thing. If this arm is going to bend, it looks like I'm losing some things here in the long leg and in the long arm when I went down too far. So what can I do? Before I do the decimate, I can't do anything really. Let me just add the decimate then. And let me just lower this thing. What's triangulate do? Let's see. It turns everything into a triangle. What's symmetry do? It keeps the same modifications on both sides. I think I'll keep that on. And let's see how far down I can go. Well, I went from 7,000 to 5,000. And the main thing I wanted you to see is I could use this decimate thing to lower the vertice count. And I'm going to apply that. All right, now step 1, I finished the mesh. All right, and I fixed the problem that I saw I had. Now let's add some bones to the mesh. Let me go back to here and still keep on Inviso. So the first thing I'm going to do, if I'm going to add some bones, I want the bottom of it. This is the center of the mesh, so if I were to drag and drop it into my Unity game, this is going to be like the bottom of the mesh, and then his legs would be under the ground. I want to take this little orange dot in here, and that'll be like the beginning of my mesh. I want to make that orange dot down here at the feet. So I'm going to do it a fast way. Is I'm just going to have the mesh selected. I'm going to go straight on one of these views so I can see that this, I'm going to say that this green line is the floor. Go to edit mode, select everything, and what I'll just do here is I'll move on the z-axis and just drag this guy up, and you can see that that orange dot is the bottom. I'll just have it like this where his feet are touching the bottom. Now if I go back to object mode, now you'll see that that is the bottom of my mesh. All right, that was just something to do before I start adding in the bones. Now when I add in the bone, it's going to go wherever the 3D cursor is. This dot is the center of the selected mesh. Okay, this circle around the dot, that's called the 3D cursor. That's where new objects are going to pop in. I'm going to add a bone. So an armature is a bone. Boom. So first I have this one bone I add. Now let me go into edit mode because I am going to just edit a bunch of bones to go inside this model. Right now the tail of the bone is selected in orange, you can see. So I'm going to do move and just pull this up to be right there at like his hip. And I'm going to take the bottom of it and I'm just going to move it like this. Okay. This bone is going to be a special bone for me. It's just going to be the root bone. And this bone, I don't want it to actually deform anything. I just want it to be like the handle on my model. So I continue from there, and it's very important for me to go into these absolute angles of view. All right, so I'm going to go straight on the Y view. I'm going to click this bone here, and I'm going to do an extrude. So a shortcut for extruding another bone, I think it's over here. There's a menu item for it. One of these, but I never use a menu item. It's this button right here. I never use a menu item because then I got to move the mouse back and forth. So I just press E, and well, I'm going to have to get the hip out like this first. And then I'm going to press E and go to the knee, E, and go to the heel. Okay, then up here is the back. So I'm going to start stretching out a backbone, so E. And I could lock it from moving in all the directions to be on just the Z. I could press the Z key. Boom, and it locks it on the Z. Okay, so I got one there to the arms. E, lock it on the Z for the neck. And then E, one for the head. Now I don't need to have so many bones. I think on my other model, actually, I only had a neck and a head. So let me just take this guy and move it up a little. Okay, and then this guy, just be the head. Oopsie, something's wrong. I selected the wrong side of the bone. There, it's like the top of the bone. I think I really got messed up. Let me just Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Yeah, I think that's that. Let me pick you. And I just want to pull your... No, I still got extra bones, all right? Control Z, Control Z. How many bones do I have now? Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. All right, let's say here, I want you to go up a little for the arms. And then I'm just going to simply make another bone that's going up for the head, period. No complexity. And over here, I'm going to extrude out shoulder, and then extrude out arms. Okay, 1, 2. Now you notice I only extrude out the arm and leg on one side of the body. That's because I don't want to double my work. Everything on one side of the body, I could use a command called symmetrize to copy it to the other side. So I'm only going to work on one side, and that's how I'll do the other side so they kind of match up the same. All right, so now we have these bones. There's one more bone I want to add here in the foot. So go back to this locked on mode, zoom in a little bit, hold down the shift, select that bone, and then press E, and I'll just give a bone to control the foot, okay? That's the last bone I wanted. So now I have all the bones. There's something here. There it goes. So I can have the bones selected, and here, this little running man, there's a thing called viewport display, and with this, I can control how the bones look. All right, so that's octahedral, that's a stick. This is a B bone, which is just a box, and these are all different ways to look at the bones. And envelope, and what's the last one? Wire. Wire. All right, so sometimes you may see videos and the bones look different. Yeah, this is how you can change the appearance. All right, so I got those bones in there. I could also do this thing here where I show the names of the bones right here on the model. So I'm going to do that for a minute because part of the symmetrize operation is I'm going to need the names to be more meaningful for me. All right, so let's give these bones better names than just bone, 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 because that way when we see them over here in the armature, we actually can tell what the heck we're looking at by the names. So this one, let me pick the bone here. I'll call this my root. Okay. Then what do we have here? This is my hip. All right. And I'm just going to go through it and name all the bones. This is my leg 1. And leg 2. And this bottom one right here, that's going to be the foot. Now, let's go up. This is the back. This is the shoulder. Arm 1. arm 2. Alright, and right here, let's just call this one the head. There. Now I'm going to select, now I'm going to do a thing where all these bones on the, what is this, my right side? No, this is my left side, okay? All these bones on the left side of the character, I want to name them to, like, left bones, you know? So let me just select all these bones that, first let me just select these guys here, right? And then over here in armature naming, I could auto name left right. So I am doing a left right thing, so I'm going to pick this one. So it sees that all these bones here, they're on the left side of this y-axis, so they all got a little naming appendage like .l, okay? I'll do the same thing with the hip and the leg, and foot. Armature, naming, left, right, and bam, okay? And that's just so I have a left and a right side when I start doing the symmetrize. Not yet, though. So now these bones are here. I'm going to add some IK controls. Well, the IK bone is going to be a bone I add at the tips, and then when I move the IK bone, the rest of the bones bend for me, so I don't have to bend each bone individually. But before I do the IK bone, I want to do something to the bones so they know which way to bend. I'm going to adjust them just a slight bit off from their center. Let me make sure I'm in an orthographic view. I pick that shoulder. I'm going to bend it forward. So that means if these two bend, I want the arm to bend that way. If these two bend, I'm just giving each of them a pre-bend a little bit so that when the IK works on them, it knows which way to move them. Okay, for the hip here, let me look at it on the x-axis. The hip, let's move you forward, and you too. Maybe you, I want to totally move forward. Maybe the hip, I want to move back. I don't know. Right, that way every time, if the bone is like straight, then when IK tries to, like, say, push in, it doesn't pick a side, it kind of just locks up. So if things have like a slight bend in them, then when the IK pushes in on that angle, it'll know which side to bend toward. All right, I hope that's a good explanation. Now I'm going to add the IK bones. So these are all my regular bones. Let me just do a save, because it did a lot of work here. I don't want to lose it. So I'm going to do a save, and I'm going to call this, like, person. Okay, I'll just call it person. And it's saving to my desktop. Boom. That way I don't lose my work. Now I'm going to add the IK bones, which are they're really just bones. So let me pick this here and go on side view, and then I'll just do another extrude. I'll extrude for the IK bone. It doesn't matter, it's not going to show. I'll just extrude it to the front. So I can press Y and lock it in on the Y. And then over here on the foot, I want to extrude it one also. Lock it in Y, and that's to control the leg. That's all I really need, because these have multiple joints to bend when I move the foot or the hand. So that's step 1. Let's name this properly, like I did the other stuff. So I gotta pick bone, and I'll call this IK arm dot L. I'll just do the O naming already. That's my left one. And over here is IK leg. Oops. Dot L. I'll just do the auto naming already. Dot L. Bam. Okay, we got this one and this one. Now, let's make them IK bones. So, first thing with the bone selected, we don't want the IK bones to deform the mesh, so I'm going to take off the form on both of those. Then let's say we're going to do, this one's the IK for the arm. So first I select that bone, and then I select the bone the IK control is going to go into. And I go to pose mode, and this is a shortcut. I just press Shift-I, and I say to active bone. Now when I did that, you see the colors changed, and this little yellow line says that this IK control is going to go all the way down into the root bone, which is the default. But let's go to the constraint, and let's change the chain length of that to only go down arm 2, arm 1, and let's stop it right there, that it's only going to control these 2 bones, all right? I mean, maybe we could go to the shoulder. I'm just going to go to those 2 bones, and that is set up. Now, if I'm in pose mode, if I pick that bone and I move it around, no, not like that. If I pick that bone and it's not controlling the arm. So what did I do wrong? 1, 2, the bone did change color. I just did a test to see if this thing worked. And it didn't. I'll come back to that one. Let me do the leg. When in doubt, just give up. All right, let me turn the names off. Let me pick the leg. Go to edit mode, pick the IK, and I want it to control this bone. Then I go to pose mode, and I press Shift-I to active bone. Okay, that looks right. It's doing all that. Except now I just want it to go up to here. So let's change the chain length. 1, 2, to just go up to the hip. Hope you can see that dotted yellow line up to the hip. Whew, so I am in pose mode now, please. Why didn't this work? Because what I want it to do is I pick the bone, and if I move it, it's not moving. Why? Think. Darn it, I know it's not moving. I forgot a step. These bones that are the IK bones, they have to be unparented from the armature. Sorry about that. Let me go to edit mode and unparent them. So this is this IK bone. I'm going to right click and clear the parent. And this IK bone, I'm going to right click and clear the parent. Now if I go to pose mode and I move the bone, you can see I'm going to press G so I can do movement. You're going to see that the bones are bending. The mesh ain't connected to the armature yet. I'm going to do that right very soon. Just want to make sure these both, did I do it? G. Nope. All right, let's make sure. Go back to edit mode. Pick the bone, right click, clear the parent. And then go to pose mode and try to move it. Okay, that's good. Now if I move the bones around and I accidentally like let go, I could do Control Z, or I could use clear transform, boop, to put the bone back where it was. So now I got the bones on one side with the IK. Everything is pretty good. I like it. Now I just want to copy the arm on this side to the other side. So now comes the part where I'm going to use the symmetrize command. So I go to edit mode, let me zoom in a little, and pick this arm. I could either click each thing, or I think I could do a little selection box. Oopsie, too big. How about this? Okay, almost got everything. Shift click that. So I have this arm selected on this side. Now I can do armature symmetrize, and badoom, it's copied on the other side. Saved me a lot of work, and it's going to be a perfect match. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the leg. Okay, got everything except the hip. There we go. Now we got the hip too. Armature, symmetrize, badoom. And that's a really much better way to copy both sides, so I don't have to do the work twice. Also, it'll match exactly. And I think everything should work on the copy. Let me just test. On this side, if I, yep, the bones are moving there. Escape, and let me try this side. G, the bones are moving there. Escape. All right, so the bones are set up. Now I got to connect the bones to the mesh. Step 3. Let's go to object mode, all right, and unselect anything. First, I'm going to select my mesh. Then I'm going to select my armature with a shift. Click. They're both selected. See how one's light orange and one's dark orange? The mesh is dark orange. Now I'm going to right click and say parent with automatic weights. Okay, and voila. And you'll see that over here, armature and cube, they kind of change. Now cube is inside that. They're not separate anymore. That's a good sign. That kind of means they're connected. So let's pick the armature and go to pose mode, and now see when I move the armature, does it move the mesh with it? So press G, and oh, it's doing it. It's doing it. Oh, and kind of cool because since some of those bones are connected to their armature, they kind of like, if those IK bones don't move, they still try to stay as close as they can to it. Okay? So, escape. We have our guy with the bones, and now we're ready to do some animation. File, save. Always back up and save. So now, for the animation, part 3, let's do the animation tab. And, I press this animation thing, and then Blender kind of sets up with these windows that are suitable for creating animations. I want to use the action editor, though. Bam. And I think before I do my first animation, I probably want to save this pose. That's just my default pose. So let me press A, have all the bones selected, and somewhere over here, yeah, there's a pose library here on the Running Man. There's a pose library. I have these bones selected, and I'll just save this as a new pose, new. And I'll give it a name, original. This is my original pose, and I'll press the plus, add new, bam, and oops, I don't, well, yeah, let me just add another pose to test something here. So let me click this, press G, and then press this and say add new on this one, and this is like bend. It's bended. I have 2 poses in here. This one I really wanted to have a different name. Original. Something's going on. Alright, so the original pose, I press here, and bam, that's his original pose. The bend pose, I press here, and bam, that's a bend pose. So anyway, I wanted to save that original pose in here before I started doing the animations and moving stuff around. So I'm working on the bones. I put the x-ray on, I can see the bones. And I'm going to do my first animation I'm going to do is probably like an idle. I think every game that I'm going to make, it needs at least 3 animations. Idle, walk, and probably jump, okay? So first let me do an idle animation. So here in the action editor, I'm going to press new, and I'm going to say that this is, I'm going to call this my idle animation, enter. And by default, it has 250 frames for the animation. That's more than I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just say I'll have 30 frames for my animation. And you can see that it shortens up to this range here. And I'll just zoom in with my mouse wheel and keep that in focus so I could see those 30 frames in a nice, good view. Let me start at frame 0 and lock in everything I see here. I'm going to press A to select all the bones, and then I'll press I to add a keyframe. And I'm going to store the location and rotation of all my bones. Bam. And voila, we have all this stuff in here. We have 1 keyframe. So 1 keyframe, if I scroll back and forth, it's not doing anything yet. But this is going to be an idle animation, so it's kind of going to be a looping animation. So let me just, instead of having this long line here that says every bone that got stored, let me just click this and just see the 1 dot, the summary. I'm going to select this dot and copy it, and I'm just going to, for the idle animation, paste it to the end. Okay, now I started at 0, not at frame 1 that's highlighted here, because when the animation plays and it's looping around, I don't really want frame 30 to be repeated at frame 1. I want that to be a calculated frame, so that's why frame 0 is sticking out a little. Alright, so it's an idle animation. Here in the middle, probably just want to do something, show some movement, some liveliness. Let me go on this strict view right here and press G to move this bone that I have selected. Let's do a little, I don't know, he leans back. Then I press I to store that. And this bone right here, let me just rotate it. I'm going to press R and rotate that forward. And then I'll press I to store that. Let's just see what that looks like. It's probably, yeah, he's like, ho hum, ho hum. Probably could put my arms down for goodness sake. So let me go to frame 0 and select the arms. Well, I'll have to select one of them at a time. Let me select this one. Let me go in the front view. All right. And then G to move you down here. Select this guy, and then G to move you down here. Oops, and I click. Let me select both of them. Shift. Okay, I got both of the arms selected. Then I will do I and store that for the hands. Press play. The hands go up because I guess I got to copy those two hand things from this frame here. Copy and paste. Whatever I have selected in the window over here, that's what's actually for the dots selected. See? Just have to remember that when I'm copying stuff around. So let me play this idle animation. Okay, he's alive. So whatever. I'm just showing you how to make an animation. And, you know, just kind of simple. Now I want to add another animation to this file. Let me save this one. File save. Let's add the jump. So I'll put this right here, and I'll press this for a new action. And action, you could think of it as an animation. And there's a default name. I'm going to call this one jump. Enter. So the first frame, let me just select everything and store that. Oh, I gotta tell you, I already have, like, when I said new action, it kind of copied the other one that I had. It starts off, that jump starts off being the idle. So you don't, when you make a new action, it's not empty. It's going to be a copy of whatever one you had showing there. So I want to, what do I want to do? I want to get rid of this thing in the middle. So I have everything selected. That means I'll delete all the instructions for that keyframe. All right, so in the beginning, it's okay that he's here, but since I'm going to jump first, I guess, at frame 5, I'll select this, and I want him to kind of get down, like squat down. Let me just make sure I'm in the hard view there. Press G, and just bend down like he's getting ready to jump. I just love the way his knees come together like that. And right here, oh gosh, this guy has like really got a weird look. Let's have the hands go up a little, maybe the back arch a little. Let me just do this pose here. He's looking up. I hate the way these are bending. I could fix that. His feet should probably go like this. Boy, I could also rotate this. Let's see. Whatever I'm doing here, I'm just trying to make the pose, all right? Trying to make the pose. R, G. I could see that, in the elbows when they're bending on the right, that it's kind of like cracks. That's probably because when I decimated the mesh, I got rid of some valuable points for bending. So maybe I'll subdivide again or something to fix that. All right, so he's getting ready to jump. And let me just select everything and store that. Let's see, without moving to the next frame, if I can fix his knees. So let's pick this. Let me go on to the front view. See if I can make the knees bend out instead. Yeah, that's better. Press R. I like that better. So select everything, store that. So let's test this out. It looks like he's standing. He gets ready to jump. And then, of course, he's going to have to pop up in the air and jump. So here I'll go to frame 10. And we know we're going to move his whole body up. Now in the game, I'm probably going to actually do the physics to actually push him up in the air. So here I just want to make sure that this looks like the part where he goes up in the air. Okay, so there he goes. Giving him some air here. And, oh, you see I wasn't hard in one of the angle views here. So let's do that again. Here's 10. So here's a straight side view. Press G, have him kind of come up. Let me maybe rotate that like this. And these feet could kind of launch off, so let's have him pointed down, tippy-toeing. He is taking off like he's flying, yeah. Let's pick these hands here. And let me go hard on view here first, make sure. And G to move these guys like here. Let me go side view and move these guys like here. Oh, I really hate that. I did that with the decimate. I got rid of that. So this is him like in the up. So let's store that. Select everything, and store it. So let's see. Start from here. Squats down. And woo! He's going to go up. Now he's going to go up. He'll be up for a while. So let me just copy this. Copy, and let's just paste it like right here. Okay, so he's going to go up, and then he's going to come down. When he comes down, we're probably going to have a little squish action again, right? We're not just going to bonk, hit the floor. So maybe we could just copy this, the part where he squatted. and we can put that over here. Paste to show impact for when he lands. So he squats, he's up, and then he lands. That's good. Now in the middle when he's up, let's do something to show he's like, you know, alive. So let's pick these feet here and at frame 13. Let's just have some motion, like he's wiggling his legs a little. This one here. Just something. So that was these 2 feet, right? I store it. And I guess the hands too could do something. So let's just move them a little bit. This one and this one. So now select them both and I store it. Okay, so that. And then let's do another motion over here. One that was in back, let's move it forward. And this one, let's switch it, move it back. Kind of like he's a little bit like flapping to push himself higher in the air. So that was all these hands and feet. Let me pick them and store it. And let's see how that looks. So he jumps up and he's like, whoa! So these guys, I probably just copy them over to get it a little loop, copy, and can we fit you in here? Paste. Yeah, let's just even you out a little. Now you could be right there at that frame. And you could be right here. Just smooth it out a little. Alright, so let's see, we got here. And then we're going to squat, jump up, pitter patter a little, and then land. So we got to jump. Let's save it. Bam. We got 2 animations. Now 1 more in the game. We're going to move around. So we're going to need a walk. So let me just turn this back to the idle. It doesn't have as many frames for me to worry about. So when I make a copy to make the next animation, this is the walk. Bam. I don't have as many frames to deal with here. So now with the walk animation, I know these 2, I'm just going to get rid of altogether, and I'm going to start from frame 0. I'm going to zoom in. This is my method I'm going to use for walk. I'm basically going to do 1 leg first, like going back and forth, and then I'll copy that to the other leg and offset it. Okay, so here's the first leg at frame 0. Instead of standing straight like this, what I want is I'm going to have this foot move forward a little. Okay, like that's the forward stepping foot. And I'll do an I, save that, and then I will come in a little, and now this foot's going to have moved to the back. I save it, and then the foot's going to come up to get ready to take the step. So I'll do this here, I, and save it, and then of course it should just come back and land on the floor again. So let me copy this one and paste it here. Bam. So this one leg should look like it's walking. Kinda does. Okay. That's good enough for simple animation. Now what I'll do is I'll copy this bone's movements onto the other leg. So with this bone selected, I'll copy its movements. Okay, then I'll select the other bone on the other leg, and I'll paste its movements. Bam. Now if I press play, that's not what I want. I can do this. Let's do that again. Let's take out these here in the middle. Delete. So it's a little mixed up here what the bones are. This one is the one I want to copy. So copy. Right. And I want to put them on this bone. Paste. And I don't know why it's not working. Alright, let's take off everything from the bone I'm going to paste to. Let me just take off everything. Delete. Okay. This is the one I'm copying from, so let me copy. And over here, it's not going to let me paste because I don't have any frames in here yet. So let me just add a frame. Now let me paste. And I bet it's still messed up. Okay. Well, it's funny because it looks like when this one went up, this one went down. Shoot. Well, I'm not able to demonstrate my... Let me do Control Z. Control Z. Maybe if I paste flipped. Boom. Oh, yeah, working. Now it's paste flipped. That's working now. Okay. There's other animations I did where I didn't have to say paste flipped. So now they should both be actually moving the same funky way. Now the thing is to offset one of the feet. So, you have 1 foot in front, 1 foot in back. So let's say that this one in the back is the one we're going to offset. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take all these frames here, and I'm going to shift them halfway forward. Zoom. So that should be that the feet are opposite each other. I'm going to have to copy, let's see what that looks like with the feet. 1. Yep, okay. Now these guys over here, I have to copy and paste them in the beginning. Boom. And that kind of shifted the animations. This, now I don't need. So now, there we go. We got these alternating wacky feet. And he's kind of looking like he's walking. That's probably the hardest part of this animation right now. So let's go to frame 1, and now let's do a little bit motion with the hands. Let's see, this foot's in front. Let's have this hand in back. So let me go hard lock. and press G. This hand's back here. I save it, and then the hand, and when the foot's in the back, then this hand could be in the front. G. Okay, then press I to save it. And I think this should just repeat, so I'm going to copy and frame 20 paste. So let's see now. Something's wrong. Where did the hand, so the hand's in front, no, the hand's in back to the front, to the back, to the front. And why did it, like, snap? Alright, take these out. X, delete. Back, front. And once you go to the back again, I'll just do it slowly. Copy, paste, back, front, back, and then come back to the front. Should reset yourself. Copy, paste. And this says that there was no difference. When the line orange like this, it means that from this frame to this frame, there is no difference. So that was the wrong thing I copied. I guess I gotta copy this one. Copy, paste. Alright, so let's see. The hand goes back, front, front, and it goes smoothly. When it wraps around, though, when it loops, I don't know why it has that hit. Maybe there's something else telling it to move. Some other command somewhere. Darn it. So now let's see if we could fix that. Where's that miscellaneous command? Alright, I have that bone selected. Let's open up the summary for the IK arm. These are all the things that are moving for it. Right here we have these orange lines mean that there's nothing happening here on the rotation for that bone. Let me try taking those off, these here, and delete them. See if that gets rid of the... Ah, hell no. It's even more clicky. Let me take it off from these. Delete. Yeah, so it's a transform thing with the arm somewhere. But it goes from here to here that it does this. Man. This is the beginning. I think I know what it is. Let's take all this. We gotta shift a little. Because this is the frame 0. So copy and paste that there. Whoa, I said paste. Come on now. Copy. And at frame 30, paste. Okay. Okay, that's getting rid of the, that's what it is. This will be in the middle at 15. This will be at the middle between those two. This is the middle between these two. Okay? His arm's moving like twice as fast as everything else. So that means I have an extra. So let me take you out. Delete. And let's spread you out. You're at 15. And then come back to the front. Play. Oh, there you go. There you go. Fixed ya. Alright, so that's one arm. That's one arm. So let's just use the copy method to get that on the other arm. So here we go. That bone is selected. Let me copy the frames from that arm. And now select the other arm. And paste. I wonder if I have to do paste flipped. But first, let's not do paste flipped. Let's just do paste. And yeah, I'm going to have to do paste flipped because his arm just raised up. Control Z. Paste flipped. Bam. Okay. Now, both hands should be doing the same thing like he got a walker. But he doesn't have a walker, does he? So we're going to shift this bone's animations up. And then copy these two to just offset this animation. Okay. And there we go. We got the two arms animated. So we basically got our 3 animations of idle, jump, and walk. Alright? I'm going to save this Blender file. And there we go. Now let's just watch those animations again, just for the heck of it. That is the walk. This is the idle. Yum-de-dum-dum-dum. And this is the jump. Alright, now that's the end of this video. Next one I'll put him into Unity and we'll have him move around and do a perfect jump. Later. Wow, you made it to the end of the video. I'm so proud of you. Maybe you want to see more videos. And maybe you want to check out my website, omarvision.com, where, in the tutorial section, it's a collection of all the videos I've ever made. And these blue links are the actual projects, and the orange links under the videos are the actual assets that are used in the videos. And if you want, you could also search here, much easier, for things. If you're looking for something, you type in a word and press search, and it will reduce the videos that show anything about what you just typed in. Hey, drop me a like, drop me a subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.